Some cars don't just lose value, they bleed money every single day you own them. These are the 10 cars turning into total money traps in 2026, and number 1 might be the biggest financial disaster on 4 wheels. Number 10. Infiniti QX80. The Infiniti QX80 used to be a status symbol, big, bold, and built to impress. But behind that shiny chrome grille and leather seats hides one of the most expensive ownership stories in the SUV world. On paper, it looks like a deal compared to other luxury brands. In reality, it's a financial sinkhole disguised as luxury. Let's start with the numbers, because they hurt. Owning a QX80 for 5 years costs nearly $120,000 once you add fuel, insurance, maintenance, and depreciation. Out of that, over $70,000 simply disappears in value. That means you're losing around $14,000 every single year just by owning it. And the pain doesn't stop there. This SUV runs on a 5.6-liter V8 engine that loves power but hates your wallet. You'll be lucky to see 14 miles per gallon in the city, and it demands premium fuel every time. With gas prices climbing, just keeping the tank full feels like a second car payment. Then comes the tires. The QX80's massive 22-inch wheels might look great, but replacement sets can cost over $1,200, and they wear out faster than you'd expect on such a heavy vehicle. Add oil changes, brake services, and those routine checkups that somehow always end with a $600 bill, and you start realizing this SUV never stops asking for more. But the real trouble begins when the suspension and steering system start acting up. The QX80 uses a hydraulic body motion control system, a fancy setup that smooths out bumps but costs a fortune when it fails. When one of those hydraulic components leaks or goes bad, you're looking at repair bills that can easily climb into the thousands. And because Infiniti isn't a high-volume brand anymore, finding replacement parts can take weeks, and they're not cheap. Owners often report steering vibrations, suspension noises, and premature wear on components that should last much longer. And unlike a typical SUV, you can't just take it to any local mechanic. Many repairs require specialized tools or dealer-only parts, which means higher labor costs and longer wait times. So even if your QX80 never actually breaks down, it slowly bleeds money through fuel, tires, maintenance, and depreciation. It's death by 1,000 cuts, quietly draining your wallet month after month. In the end, the Infiniti QX80 proves one thing: not every luxury SUV is a smart buy. Sometimes the most expensive cars aren't the only ones that explode. They're the ones that silently bankrupt you while pretending to be reliable. Think the QX80 was bad? Wait until you see how innovation can actually punish loyalty. Next up, a Tesla nightmare you won't see coming. Number 9. Tesla Model S and Model X. Tesla changed the auto industry forever. There's no denying that. Model S and Model X were once symbols of the future. Sleek electric machines that made gasoline cars look outdated overnight. But here's the twist. Now it's Tesla's own innovation that's turning these cars into financial traps. A used Tesla Model S loses around 65 to 70% of its value in just 5 years. Model X isn't far behind. That means a car that cost $120,000 new might sell for under $40,000 just a few years later. And it's not because these cars are breaking down. It's because Tesla keeps outpacing itself. Every few months, Tesla drops a new update. Faster charging, better range, smarter autopilot. Sounds great, right? But it leaves older owners stuck with yesterday's technology. What was cutting edge 2 years ago suddenly feels outdated. Imagine buying a flagship phone for $1,500, only to see a better one launch next month. Except this phone costs 6 figures. Then there's the pricing chaos. Tesla adjusts its prices constantly. One day a Model S cost $105,000, the next it's $89,000. That's an instant $16,000 hit for people who bought just weeks earlier. Used Teslas take the biggest hit from these price swings, as buyers hesitate to pay top dollar for something that might lose value overnight. Now the real nightmare, battery replacement. Once the warranty expires, replacing a Tesla battery can cost between $15,000 to $22,000. That's more than the resale value of many older Teslas. If your Model S from 2016 needs a new battery, the repair could literally cost more than the entire car's worth. That risk alone is destroying the used Tesla market. Buyers know that if the battery fails, it's game over. No one wants to gamble that kind of money. Add to that declining demand for older EVs with slower charging and shorter ranges, and you've got a car that loses appeal faster than it loses charge. And while Teslas are known for low mechanical maintenance, software issues, touchscreen failures, and sensor replacements can still cost thousands, especially once you're out of warranty. So yes, Model S and X are incredible pieces of engineering, but the same speed of innovation that made them legends is also what's sinking their value. They're not breaking because they're bad. They're breaking because Tesla moves too fast for its own customers to keep up. Battery replacements are scary. The Land Rover proves that luxury can collapse under its own weight. Number 8. Land Rover, Range Rover, and Discovery. Owning a Range Rover or a Discovery is like joining an exclusive club, until the repair bill starts rolling in. On the surface, they're everything luxury should be. Powerful engines, plush interiors, and that unmistakable British prestige. But beneath the leather and chrome hides one of the costliest ownership experiences you can buy. Let's talk facts. The average annual maintenance cost for a Range Rover can climb to $2,500 to $3,000, nearly double the industry average. And that's just for keeping things running smoothly, not counting surprise breakdowns. Over 5 years, you could easily spend over $15,000 just on maintenance alone. One of the biggest pain points? The air suspension system. It gives that smooth floating ride everyone loves, until it fails, and it will fail. Owners often report suspension breakdowns around the 6 to 10 year mark. And when it happens, each corner of the vehicle can cost $4,000 to $6,000 to repair. Multiply that by 4, and you're looking at a repair bill that could buy you a decent used car. Then there's the timing chain issue, a problem that's haunted multiple Land Rover engines over the years. When it goes, it can cause catastrophic engine damage, and replacing it often costs $3,000 to $5,000. Combine that with electrical gremlins, which Range Rover owners know all too well, and you've got a car that spends more time in the service bay than on the road. And don't expect your local mechanic to save you money. These vehicles are loaded with complex computer systems that require proprietary diagnostic tools, the kind only authorized dealerships have. That means no cheap fixes, no shortcuts, and no independent shop discounts. Every little warning light becomes a trip to the dealership, and every trip becomes another dent to your wallet. Even smaller things like electronic door locks, infotainment glitches, or adaptive terrain sensors can cost hundreds to diagnose and thousands to repair. The tech that makes these SUVs feel smart also makes them a nightmare once they start aging. Sure, nothing beats the feeling of pulling up in a Range Rover, until you remember what it costs to keep it running. What starts as a symbol of success often ends as a financial anchor. Because with these cars, you're not just buying luxury, you're signing up for a lifetime membership with your mechanic. Speaking of expensive repairs, the next German luxury sedan proves precision comes at a price, and that price is huge. Number 7. BMW 7 Series. The BMW 7 Series is the kind of car that makes a statement before you even start the engine. It's sleek, quiet, powerful, and packed with cutting-edge tech. But once the warranty runs out, that same precision turns into your biggest financial headache. Here's the harsh truth. The 7 Series loses over 50% of its value in just 3 years. A $110,000 car can drop to around $50,000 before you've even finished paying it off. And that's not because it's unreliable. It's because the cost of keeping it in perfect shape is sky high. The car is full of complex engineering, twin turbos, adaptive suspension, active steering, and a web of electronics that make it feel futuristic. But when any of that goes wrong, repairs get expensive fast. Air suspension repairs alone can reach $3,000 to $5,000 per corner, and turbocharger issues, easily another $4,000 to $6,000. And then there's the iDrive infotainment system, the brain of the car. When it glitches or fails, you can't just swap out a screen. A full replacement can cost up to $5,000, and that's if you can find a qualified tech who knows what they're doing. But the real drain isn't one big failure. It's the constant small ones. A faulty parking sensor here, a leaky valve there. random electronic gremlins that light up your dash like a Christmas tree. Each one costs a few $100s, but together they slowly eat away at your wallet. Owners often describe it not as a breakdown, but as a financial erosion. Even regular maintenance isn't cheap. Oil changes can run around $250 to $400, brake jobs can top $1,200, and once you factor in specialized diagnostics, owning one out of warranty starts to feel like maintaining a private jet. And here's the kicker. Because of these high upkeep costs, used 7 Series models flood the market at bargain prices. But they're bargains for a reason. Buyers know that after 60,000 miles, every warning light could mean another $1,000 bill. It's the classic story of German luxury. Brilliant when new, brutal when old. The 7 Series gives you the world-class engineering, but only as long as you can afford to maintain it. Once the warranty ends, so does the peace of mind. From sedans to family SUVs, the Durango reveals that even practical rides can hide wallet-crushing surprises. Number 6. Dodge Durango. At first glance, the Dodge Durango seems like the perfect family SUV. Strong, roomy, and packed with attitude. It's got muscle car DNA and the space to haul the kids, the groceries, and the boat. But under all that power and practicality hides a money trap that's catching more owners off guard every year. Let's start with the big picture. The Durango retains only about 35% of its value after 5 years. That means a $50,000 SUV can be worth barely $17,000 to $18,000 just a few years later. That's not normal depreciation. That's financial freefall. And the reason isn't just age, it's reliability. Many Durango owners report a laundry list of issues that start creeping in once the odometer hits around 60,000 miles. The most infamous one? The TIPM, or Totally Integrated Power Module, basically the car's electrical brain. When it fails, it can cause random stalling, headlights flickering, windows that stop working, and even fuel pump issues. Replacing it costs $1,200 to $1,800. And sometimes that's just the start of the problems. Then there's the transmission trouble. Slipping gears, rough shifting, and even sudden stalling have been reported across multiple model years, especially between 2014 and 2020. Transmission repairs can easily reach $3,000 to $5,000, and full replacements push that number even higher. Suspension problems also plague the Durango lineup. Worn bushings, broken control arms, and premature shock wear aren't just annoying. They can turn into safety hazards if ignored. Because this SUV is heavy and often used for towing, the suspension takes a beating faster than you'd expect. A full suspension repair can cost $2,000 or more, depending on damage. Add to that the cost of fuel, and this is a thirsty SUV, with many trims barely getting 18 miles per gallon combined. And while the Hemi V8 sounds great, it's not so fun when you're filling up twice a week. Over time, all these little hits, the TIPM glitches, the transmission slips, the worn suspension, add up to thousands. That's why used Durangos are often cheap to buy but expensive to keep. It's the kind of SUV that makes a great first impression, but turns into a financial marathon soon after. Powerful? Absolutely. Practical? Sure. Until the repairs start. American muscle isn't the only danger. This early EV luxury aged overnight and left owners paying the price. Number 5. Audi e-tron. When Audi launched the e-tron, it was supposed to be their bold step into the electric future. Luxury, performance, and prestige all wrapped in one high-voltage package. But just a few years later, that same luxury EV has turned into one of the fastest depreciating cars on the road. Early e-tron models have seen over 60% depreciation in just 2 years. The 2021 e-tron that once cost around $80,000 can now be found on used lots for under $30,000. That's a collapse even budget cars don't experience. And the reason is simple. EV technology is moving faster than Audi's first attempt could keep up with. Back when it launched, the e-tron's 218-mile range seemed respectable. But now it's almost embarrassing, compared to rivals that easily cross 300 to 350 miles per charge. Even Audi's own newer models have left the original e-tron behind. So while it still looks high-end, what's under the hood feels like yesterday's tech. Then there's the reliability headaches. Owners have reported cooling system leaks, charging errors, and software glitches that make daily driving unpredictable. Some drivers have had their charging systems lock up mid-session, or seen their vehicles refuse to start after updates. And because the car's battery and motor system are sealed units, even minor faults often require entire module replacements, which can cost $8,000 to $15,000. Battery degradation is another problem. Many early e-trons lose noticeable range after just a few years, especially in hot climates. Add to that the high cost of parts and limited repair options. Only authorized Audi EV technicians can touch these components, and you've got repair bills that climb faster than the car's acceleration. Even the software that manages the power system can become outdated. Without frequent updates or dealer maintenance, features like regenerative braking and charging control can glitch or stop working altogether. The saddest part? These cars still drive beautifully, silent, smooth, and luxurious inside. But when the tech behind them falls behind newer EVs, the luxury badge can't save them from the market reality. In just a few short years, the Audi e-tron went from cutting-edge innovation to a cautionary tale of how quickly EVs can age. Luxury, style, and a sky-high price tag. But the next car shows that Italian passion comes within wallet-crushing consequences. Number 4. Maserati, Ghibli, and Levante. There's no denying that the Maserati Ghibli and Levante turn heads. Sleek lines, that signature trident badge, and a growl from the engine that screams Italian passion. On paper, it's the dream car. Behind all that style hides a financial nightmare for owners who think they're buying a luxury experience. Maserati ranks among the top 5 most expensive brands to maintain, with 10-year ownership costs exceeding $11,000. That doesn't even include depreciation, which is steep due to its car's reliability stigma. A $75,000 Levante, for example, can drop $35,000 to $40,000 in value in just 3 years, leaving owners with a luxury car that's slowly bleeding money. The problem starts with the basics: clutch and transmission issues. Owners report slipping clutches, delayed gear shifts, and in some cases, total transmission failures under just 50,000 miles. Repairing these isn't simple. You can't just go to a random mechanic. Maserati parts and tools are only available through select authorized dealers, which inflates costs dramatically. A clutch replacement that might run $2,000 on a mainstream car can easily hit $6,000 to $7,000 on a Maserati. Transmission repairs can go even higher. Electrical systems are another money pit. From infotainment glitches to sensor failing unexpectedly, these Italian masterpieces are full of complex electronics that are both expensive and time-consuming to fix. One blown module can set you back $1,500 to $3,000, and multiple failures aren't uncommon. Even routine maintenance carries a luxury premium. Tires, brakes, and fluids aren't cheap, and Maserati recommends specialized service to maintain performance and warranty coverage. Add all of this up and you start seeing why owning a Ghibli or Levante is less about driving pleasure and more about budgeting for expensive surprises. The market has noticed too. Reliability concerns have made used Maseratis hard to sell, further accelerating depreciation. It's not just about high maintenance costs, it's about the combination of steep repairs and value loss that traps owners in a financial spiral. Yes, Maseratis are beautiful, fast, and thrilling to drive, but they come with bills that are as dramatic as their exhaust note. Being first isn't always smart. The Nissan Leaf shows how early EV pioneers can quickly become liabilities. Number 3. Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf was a trailblazer. Back when it first hit the roads, it promised a future of affordability. Practical electric driving, no gas, no emissions, and a small environmental footprint. But being first doesn't always pay off, and the Leaf has quickly become a cautionary tale for early EV adopters. The biggest issue? Battery degradation. Early Leaf models lacked adequate temperature management, particularly those manufactured between 2014 and 2016. This suggested that batteries could lose 40 to 50% of their capacity in a few years under real-world circumstances. Imagine buying a car that promises 100 miles of range, only to find it drops to 50 miles on a cold day, or after a couple of years. That's not just frustrating, it's a huge practical problem for daily driving. Depreciation has been brutal. A 2022 Leaf which retailed for around $22,000 to $24,000, can now be found used for $12,000 or even less. That's lower than some brand new subcompact cars, meaning you're not really saving money. You're taking a gamble on a vehicle that may not hold its promised range. And even if the car mechanically runs fine, buyers shy away from used Leafs because of the battery's decay stigma. The early models set a lasting perception that the Leaf loses value faster than most EVs. Even newer Leafs aren't immune. Despite Nissan's improvements in battery management and range, the market continues to penalize them because of their early failures. Resale values are still low, since both buyers and dealers are wary. You might be buying a fully updated 2024 Leaf, but the shadow of older models drags down its market price. Maintenance and repairs? Electric cars are simpler mechanically, but replacing a degraded battery outside warranty is expensive. Some owners report costs exceeding $8,000 to $10,000, which can surpass the car's current market value. That makes any long-term investment risky. The Nissan Leaf illustrates a harsh truth. Being a pioneer in new technology carries financial risk. Driving an early EV may feel futuristic, but the market doesn't reward loyalty to outdated tech. Once the darling of electric cars, the Nissan Leaf is now a cautionary tale. Impressive on paper, but a financial trap for anyone who buys without considering battery life and resale value. Battery decay is bad, but the EQS shows that cutting-edge tech can destroy value faster than you think. Number 2. Mercedes-Benz EQS. When the Mercedes-Benz EQS debuted, it was hailed as the pinnacle of electric luxury. Over 422 miles of range, a futuristic interior dominated by the hyperscreen display, and technology that seemed straight out of science fiction. On paper, it was a masterpiece. But there's a harsh reality behind all that glamour. The EQS is bleeding value faster than most owners expect. Depreciation is staggering. A $116,000 EQS can drop to around $45,000 in just 3 years, which is more than 60% loss in value. That's nearly $23,000 gone every single year, almost $2,000 per month, simply for being the first in its technology class. And this isn't due to poor build quality. Mercedes engineering is impeccable. The real problem is that the EQS represents the bleeding edge of EV tech, and today's cutting-edge features quickly become tomorrow's outdated gadgets. Take the hyperscreen, for example. Spanning almost the entire dashboard, it was meant to redefine the interior experience. But early owners now report glitches, freezing, and complex failures that can only be fixed at dealerships. Replacing or repairing even part of the display can cost thousands of dollars, sometimes approaching $5,000 or more. Charging systems aren't perfect either. Some EQS owners have faced DC fasting charging issues, forcing them to rely on slower alternatives. Combine that with software updates and early system bugs, and the car requires frequent dealer visits, adding time and money to ownership. The EQS market viability is gone after new EVs hit the market that have better battery efficiency, charging times, and interface. Owners of EQS vehicles now have a very costly first edition, since features that once warranted a 6-figure price tag are now standard on considerably less expensive EVs. There's a luxury premium even for normal maintenance. Minor repairs become expensive due to complex circuitry, specific parts, and requirement for approved dealer work. Compared to conventional luxury automobiles, any malfunction from software bugs to charging modules has a greater financial impact. The EQS proves a sobering truth. Today's futuristic flagship can quickly turn into a financial burden. It's a stunning car to drive and admire, but the moment you buy one, you're also buying the risk that rapid technology advances will erode its value faster than you can enjoy it. Think EVs are risky? The final entry is America's iconic SUV, now a total financial time bomb. Number 1. Cadillac Escalade. The Cadillac Escalade has long been a symbol of American luxury, big, bold, and unmistakable on the road. But what looks like prestige on the outside hides a financial nightmare under the hood. Owners are seeing nearly 40% depreciation in just 3 years, meaning a $90,000 SUV could be worth only $54,000 before it even hits midlife. That's tens of thousands of dollars lost simply from the moment it drives off the lot. The Escalade's 6.2-liter V8 engine comes with its own set of headaches. Excessive oil consumption is common, and the timing chain can stretch or fail far earlier than expected. Repairs aren't cheap. Fixing a timing chain issue often involves tearing into the front of the engine and replacing multiple components, which can run $3,000 to $5,000. That's a repair bill that can wipe out a chunk of the SUV's remaining value. The Q infotainment system and magnetic ride control suspension are examples of luxury features with a bad reputation. Sensors, actuators, and modules fail frequently, with repair costs quickly reaching thousands of dollars. Even simple software glitches in the infotainment can require expensive dealership intervention. Fuel and running costs add insult to injury. With a thirsty V8, premium fuel requirements, and oversized tires, the Escalade's annual maintenance can exceed $1,100, and 10-year ownership costs often top $15,000. And that's on top of the rapid depreciation. Electrical gremlins, suspension issues, and infotainment failures all create a constant stream of potential expenses that make long-term ownership financially painful. What makes the Escalade truly dangerous as an investment is that everything adds up quietly. It's not like the SUV suddenly breaks down. It slowly drains your wallet with steep depreciation, expensive repairs, and maintenance costs that creep up year after year. The Escalade may feel like an American dream on wheels, but for many owners it becomes a slow-burning financial time bomb. Driving one isn't a luxury. It's a commitment to watching your money vanish piece by piece, while enjoying one of the most iconic SUVs on the planet. Bold, luxurious, and unmistakable, yes, but as a long-term investment, the Escalade ranks as the ultimate money trap of 2026. These cars aren't just losing value, they're quietly draining your wallet. Don't let your next ride become a financial trap. Watch, learn, and subscribe to stay one step ahead of automotive disasters.